Howdy folks, Cody here with IronVerse Comics doing another IronVerse Quickie, this time on Airith, the Kentilan War. Whoop! Tape 2. Super excited to have received this, super excited to continue this journey, but as always, let's start with a little context. I reviewed issue number 1 on the channel as well, and I totally recommend checking that out first. I'm also familiar with this creator, as a lot of the books I check out on here, and I respect the hell out of their hustle and their ability to deliver and how and what they choose to deliver. This work also came with a separate ash can. This fella right here. Featuring some work from an IronVerse Comics team member, which I won't be discussing this go. In fact, I didn't even read it so far. Because really the tradition here is the work must stand alone. So we're going to review just this. Now let's just do it. All right. Airith as a series is all attitude. If you don't vibe with that attitude, it'll likely turn you off. That being said, the art is straight glam metal explosion, and it flows quite well, even given some of the difficulties I'll be discussing. So let's do a quick catch up, and it's not going to be that thorough. The work, the story, takes place in a dystopian alt reality, as far as I can tell. I still haven't quite been able to piece all of its world building together in my head to cohesion, but that may also be because it's been some time since I checked out number 1. It is, however, intriguing, and meat is there for those interested. The tale is built on a fuck the system attitude and many, many references. I'm not going to spoil much else, as story-wise, not too much happens. So on that note, let's talk about those difficulties. The primary one for me, and this may simply be to my taste, this book is all dialogue and back and forth. If the style and attitude does not land with you, as sometimes it didn't with me, there won't be too much else to the storytelling to keep you. The second one is due to the dialogue-heavy nature of the work. In a valiant attempt to keep things moving and interesting, the work is also very panel-dense. So, a majority of this book is between 7 and 9 panels. It's handled well in the art end, but it slows some of the pacing to a crawl. And it's quite noticeable when the pacing picks up and then slows again. This will be fine if you really vibe with the dialogue, the references, the back and forth, the characterizations, right? But if not, you may be wishing more for something to happen, which again, it slows that pacing. Like you look at another page and there's all this dialogue and panel dense, right? That's me. I'm a manga reader. Give me a splash page, four panels, 3 panels, 5 panels. Keep me moving. That's what I like. But again, in this case, I don't know if it's a negative so much as a taste. Those are my main, critiques of the story overall. I believe this one had more of those issues than the first. Again, go check out that first review if you're that curious. I might mention the same things. I didn't even look at my first review before checking this out. I wanted to dive in it as I got to it. And now we'll move on to the nitpicks, which honestly, there aren't many. I think there's 4. Not many. And none of them are on the art end. It is a gorgeous book through and through, from the actual printed presentation, which is nice. It's soft enough that it bends too, right, without sticking. That always bugs me when they, open up and then that cover's going to stay open forever. It does it a little bit, but I've had many other books that, that's permanent. As soon as you open it up, that cover's never going back down straight. And that bothers me. Nope. It's got this beautiful emboss. All around, these spikes are embossed. This chunk of armor's embossed. Of course, the logo, as you can see, is gold embossed. It's beautifully square bound. Even has, for your shelf. Oh, come on. Ah, it goes. The sweet side tag label, which, super important for folks who like to keep their stuff organized like I do. And that's not even, you see this beautiful splash page, the paneling, the inking, the coloring, just gorgeous, just beautiful. Again, glam metal explosion. It's my kind of coloring. I love it. Well, let's hop into the stuff that I noticed. Let's just go ahead and do that. So, page 3 or so, this last sentence here. I'm going to shove my sword up your ass. That'll make you one of those bisexual lesbians you speak so highly of. So much so, I'm going to shove my sword up your ass so deep, I'm going to shove it, something, right? To make that it'll make you one of those. Now, the context of that rebuttal, of course, is from earlier in their conversation here. But that's not the problem with this. It's jumping from ass that it'll make you. That's awkward. That very awkward sentence structure. I think that's the only really awkward sentence structure throughout the whole thing. And this, it's a bilingual book. They use a lot of Spanish sentences and phrasing, right? Which adds quite a bit to the charm. And again, that attitude, which can land very well or land very poorly, depending on who you are, I'm guessing. And but that was a little awkward, right? Just a little awkward. Different ways to phrase that to make it flow better. This one. So we're actually going to be looking at 2 pages. Again, I love this coloring. So I'm going to ask you right away, does this look like a double-page spread, or is it 1 page and another page? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's 1 page and another page. And that's the problem with this thing's paneling. You can't quite tell if you're supposed to go all the way across and all the way down, or if you're supposed to do it left, right, and then down to the corner. So this one is just that 2 pages next to each other without a deeper, I bet there is actually a thicker black border in the middle here that got cut off thanks to the binding. It's not that clear. Big, again, these are nitpicks. I'm moving on to doing those during this, just because it's what an editor would hopefully notice, right? That's the bit. So, right? There's not much else to say about it. You can see what I'm talking about. Again, the art itself is gorgeous. The action scenes work great. All of that. That's no comment there. It's just this panel bleeds into this panel, and it makes it feel like you should read it this way. Something a editor hopefully would catch. What was this one? Oh, okay. And then here's the big bit with how dialogue heavy it is. And this is the last real complaint of the whole thing, right? So you'll see, boom, action plan is it's finishing, right? It's finishing. Not trying to spoil anything, but boom, you're hit by this. All of this. And it continues to the last page, which I don't want to spoil the last page, but it's all last-minute exposition. It's all an attempt to get you interested in what's coming next, which is great, but there's a lot of it, and it feels very rushed to me. There might be a better way to handle it, or to have spread it out throughout. Something more snappy would have hit better for me than this. It felt very rushed. And it's the last 2 pages, right? And it got me like, oh, okay, this is what's going to happen next. It also sets you up to read the ash can, I'm guessing. Todd Boy here, which is, again, that's the ash can. So the hope is, I'm guessing, is you read all this and then you check out the ash can and then you're hyped for that character to meet these characters. That idea in itself is great. I think that's a smart way to do it. Doing it in only these 2 pages very quickly, right at the end, pacing. It's not my favorite choice. Best way to say it. So, that's it, honestly. And it's a wonderful, boom, I have that shirt. Very cool shirt. Very nice quality. I like wearing it. Very comfortable. But that's the speed bumps, and quite literally that's the main problem with this, the speed bumps, in this work. I love the artistry. I think the attitude is unique and will resonate with a lot of people very well. Just some of the technical pacing storytelling bits are not hooking me like I would really wish they would. I didn't chomp through this book. I went through this book, and as a comic fan, I would rather want to chomp through it, right? That being said, I am 100% on board with this work. I want to watch it grow some more. As I've been saying, the exposition at times may feel a bit rushed, especially at the end there. But it adds that meat that I hope will pay off down the line. Again, it might even pay off just moving on to the ash can right after this. I don't know. But if they're able to do that, and if they're able to pick up the pacing a little bit, make more things happen quicker, this could be something absolutely incredible instead of something just really good. And I totally understand if its attitude just clicks with some people. And that would be all you need for this, right? It's definitely... it's unique. And even the I'm going to call them again, speed bumps, that it hits are unique. I don't see those speed bumps in a lot of other works. So that to me may mean it's just flavor, right? And it's just a flavor that I don't resonate with as well as I could. And I'm on board for 3. I loved everything that came with this book. I'm excited to dive into the ash can. I don't know if the ash can will get a quickie. But I might just add an addendum to this maybe down the line, or maybe even just a really, really short quickie on Todd Boy. But we'll see. I recommend this work. I recommend checking out issue 1. At least check out the review of issue 1. And I'm hoping by round 3 they get a little bit better feeling of what they want to do with this, unless what they want to do is that attitude, in which case they are nailing what they want to do, and it just doesn't, again, hit me as well as maybe it would other folks. So, thank you so much for watching. I just blown away by the artistry. It's a very pretty book, and I'll catch you guys down the line. Take care.